I have been sitting here crying, and then I thought I would tell you why. I miss Mirra so much. She wasn't just my dog, she was my best friend. She was the only one there for me when everyone else was out having a good time, having fun, doing things that normal people do when they don't have to stay home because they are in too much pain and in bad shape. People who can live their lives normally. And she was the only one there for me. And the thing she was the most like afraid of, or not afraid of, but she didn't like being home alone because she had been home alone for so much before she became ours. So the thing she needed the most is like to be close to a person, like laying down really close so she could feel the warmth from my body. And I have to pause this. I can't remember exactly where I was. I had to blow my nose. But the thing she needed most was to be close to someone, to be loved, and not having to be alone at home. Uh, and that I gave her. And from the minute or the second even I met her, she had decided that I was her mommy. And we understood each other without words. She actually communicated with me like, how do you say it? Telepathic? Do you say it like that? So, one thing that most of you don't know is that I'm psychic. I am. I can also see the future and I can see the past. Now, I was born that way, I can't help it, and you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. But I am like psychic in so many ways. Some people, they have like one thing, and that is that they can see the other side. Oh, I apologize. And they can like hear it from outside the room, like when you talk to someone, you hear them in the room. And some people that are psychic, they can hear uh, their they can hear the people and information and things inside their head, and some can smell, and some can see things inside their head but not outside, like in the room, like a living person. It's hard to explain it all, but I have all of it. I can do all of that. But 2010, uh, it was a very hard year for me, and I broke down completely, and my ability started to work very poorly, and it has worked, well, for me it's poorly. But I do understand that other people would be very happy for my gift as it is now. And I am thankful for it. It's just that I want it to be as good as it was. So it's frustrating for me that I don't have it in the same way anymore, and I can change that. But I have had so many things in my life that I had to focus on and that I have been wanting to focus on, that this has been left to the side. But now, when Mirra is gone, I have only seen her twice, and not like only information and pictures inside my head, not outside like I see with my eyes. Leonie has seen her and communicated with her like outside. Uh, she was, when we had put her in the grave, we let the puppies, because they had smelled her every time they went out to pee and in again, because she had to be on our like in glassed porch, or what to call it in English, and she had to be there for around 30 hours, so a bit more than 24, of course. But anyway, we want them to understand, so they would not like wait for her. I cannot imagine anything worse than they would wait for her every day to come home and she never comes. That to me is worse than that they grieve her and then they are okay. So we wanted them to understand where she went off to, so they didn't think she like came to life again or something. So they could sniff that she was in the grave, and they actually went a little crazy and wanted to go down into the grave and was whining. And then all of a sudden Leonie saw her, and it was so clear. She saw her standing beside the grave. So she was looking at her and so very confused, like looking down in the grave, looking up at her, and down in the grave and up at her. And then she started to communicating and talking to her. It was adorable and kind of ripped my heart out. And I think that she said to her that I'm okay, but I cannot be with you anymore, and I'm gonna go now, or something like that. And maybe something more, that she loves her and will miss her, but she has to go on off her own or something. I don't know what she told her, but when she left, Leonie actually screamed like, no. It was so clear. She screamed, no, don't leave me, take me with you. And she started to running against her, like pulling the leash so badly, almost panicking. I have to go with you. Grim was also looking, but he didn't talk and he didn't pull the leash. So we do not know if only Leonie saw her, and we did not. I did not, and it bugs me so much that I did not see her. And I wonder why. I can't understand it, since I can see the other side, so I don't get it. But anyway, and before that she came to me and and let me know that she was okay. She didn't have time for me, that she was so happy. She was playing with someone or a few, uh, but I don't know who. But I know that there were several that she was playing with, and she didn't have time now. She did this like she used to do when she ran the fastest she could up to me and like, I cannot be with you any longer because daddy is gonna play with me over there. And then she ran back. She did that and let me know she was okay, and then she ran away. And that is, I saw it inside my head, not outside my head, if that is any help to you. I do realize that some of you will probably think I am like a lunatic or something, or that I'm lying, or I'm making this up, or I have heard it all. I learned when I was like 5 years old that you cannot tell people and talk to people about this because they look at you and think you're crazy. But since I could see the future, I accidentally blabbed out things that were gonna happen. I didn't have like a filter where I was able to stop it. So I got the information and I said it out loud. And well, my family thought I was kind of crazy, I guess. They did not call me crazy, but the look on their faces, and then when it actually happened a few minutes later, or an hour or two, or the next day, whatever I saw happened, then happened, and they did like this. Just everyone just turned their head exactly when it happened and just looked at me. And one of my older sisters, she used to scream at me, "You little," how do you say this in English? Oh, maybe hubby is coming now. I don't know. Then I have to pause this because I just realized that I put this for a reason. It's like English, Swedish little thing for me to look stuff up. So I will look this up. Okay, I found it. Nasty is the word. You nasty little. How did she say? You nasty little thing. Get out of here. She used to scream at me. I can understand that, It was just that I could not help it. I was born this way, and, there was nothing I could do. I tried to learn about like my abilities and stuff, and but it was really hard because I had no one to teach me, no one to ask. If I asked or said anything to anyone, they always looked at me like I was crazy, or they actually said I was crazy, or that I was making things up, or that I have heard it all. So anyway, I just wanted to explain that that's why I could communicate with Mirra as much as I did. And I didn't even realize how often we did that until she died. It was so often that I didn't realize how often until she was gone. And she also saved my life so many times, and she saved my life around 5 years ago, the night to my birthday. She saved my life, and she was like taking her paw in my face when I was sleeping. She had never done that before, ever. And I was like, "What are you doing? Like, shh, let me sleep." And then I fell back to sleep, and she did it again and again and again and again. I don't know how many times she woke me up until my brain was registered, like understanding that something is very, very wrong. And when I realized that, I really tried to stay awake, but I fell asleep a few more times and she woke me up. And after that, she didn't let me fall back to sleep. If I was on my way, I'm sorry, I'm having itching problems because of allergies. Um, she didn't let me fall back to sleep. She prevented me from falling to sleep even for a second. And she communicated without words when I was like awake enough to understand and feel that something is so wrong, and this is a matter of life and death that I stay awake. And I mean, she did that because she wanted to. And sometimes, I cannot explain what happened, but it had something to do with my blood pressure. And I had too high blood pressure for maybe 7 years. So I don't know if I was going into a stroke or something, if she prevented my body from going into a state of, I don't know what. I cannot explain it. But I went to the doctor in the morning and was put on medication. But sometimes something similar happens to my body, and I I don't really, I feel strange, so strange. And it's not that I'm about to faint, because she didn't care about that, because I'm about to faint so many times each day. She didn't care. She didn't care when I got asthma attacks. Well, she cared a little bit, but she wasn't like worried, really worried. And she didn't care when my heart freaks out, because my heart freaks out a lot. And sometimes, if you read about what my heart does, that's a heart attack. That is what's happening. That's the signs of a heart attack. But obviously, I do not get a heart attack, but my heart freaks out for hours and hours, sometimes 8 hours, and she doesn't care about that. So I do not know what my body is doing sometimes that make, and she doesn't care when I have a really high fever. She doesn't care when my temperature goes the other way, when it's really low. She doesn't care about those things. Unless she didn't care about those things. So I cannot explain what it is that happens to my body. But when it happens, she was like guarding me. And now I'm talking about not that time that I was asleep. Now the times I have been awake. She used to guard me and keep me from getting up. I was not even allowed to lift my head from the pillow. If I lifted my head from the pillow, she pushed me down. And then she was guarding me, and she, like, for hours, until whatever is about to happen in my body had passed. Then she lay down to rest, and I could go to the bathroom, because many times I didn't understand it at first. I was like, I have to pee. I have a broken bladder, I told her. I have to pee. You have to let me go and pee. And she didn't. And she communicated to me that it's a matter of life and death. You need to lay down. And sometimes, if hubby came home from work, she didn't even go and say hello to him because she was guarding me. And sometimes she looked at me, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna lay here. And then she ran very fast to him, said hello, and ran back to guard me. And I feel kind of unsafe that I don't have someone to do that for me anymore. And she obviously chose to do that herself. No one has taught her that. She did it because she loves me so much. I'm not gonna cry again. But every time I felt like worried because my heart was going so crazy, or my fevers was so crazy high, or stuff happening to my body that's not normal and stuff, I just looked at her. And if she was sleeping like at my feet in my bed, I had nothing to worry about. I felt safe. I knew I'm gonna live. I'm not about to die. I don't know what's happening now. Oh, it wasn't my phone. I thought it was my phone. Oh, has gone on for 22 minutes. I'm not good at explaining things, and I'm not good at explaining things fast. Anyway, I feel kind of unsafe that no one is guarding me, because my brain doesn't register very well what is happening. I don't understand what it is. I can only tell you I feel strange. And I'm this kind of person that knows my body really well. I have surprised doctors since I was like a kid. Because, well, that's a long story. Anyway, I really do know my body, even if they have given me like oh crap, what's that called? Hold on. I cannot pronounce that word. Anaesthesia, anesthesia, anesthes something. You know, you get some kind of medication in a shot that's gonna make you not feel anything, no pain, nothing. Um, and when they gave that to me in my spine, and then they said, you know, you cannot walk now, you cannot move your legs, I was like, yes, I can. And they were like, no, 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 you're like paralyzed from your waist and down. I was like, I am not. And then I did this with my legs, with my feet, and they were like, how is that possible? And then I said, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. And they were like, no, 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 you're gonna fall apart, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna, like, your body is not gonna work, you cannot get up. And I was like, my body is working fine, I can get up, I can walk, no problem. And they were like, no, you're just saying that. And people often say that, and then they just fall down because. And I was like, well, I'm not other people. And then I got down and I stood there jumping. Do you see? I can. My body is moving as it should. Now I'm going to the bathroom. So, like, I know my body very, very well, But this, I cannot wrap my head around what it is that happens. And I can only tell you, I feel very, very strange. Anyway, I feel a bit unsafe that she is not able to guard me anymore. And I think I have had one episode of that strange thing since she died. And I laid in bed for like 6 hours until I felt normal again. So my head like understood that something was up, but it's not just that. It's also we talked so much without words, and we were like so, how do you say, synchronized with each other, like 24/7. Her and I was meant to be where we were meant for each other, and she chose us as her mom and dad and her family. She she chose us. She ran away to us and took all of her things with her to us before she was ours. So she chose us, and we were meant for each other, her and me. And I feel we didn't get enough time. I got 8.5 years with her, and she lived for 9.5 years, or 9 and like 7 months, I think is more correct. But I feel that we should have gotten more time, and I'm thankful for the time we got. I really am, but I miss her so much. It hurts so much. Even I think it's 5 weeks today since she died, and I still break down and cry. Not every day, but every other day, it seems like. And I don't think that I will ever stop missing her. Ever. Leonie is getting up, and she is so like her mother. Sometimes she makes things that sounds exactly like her and looks exactly like her, and I'm happy that she looks like her mother and everything, but sometimes it hurts too much. It just hurts too much, and this is so long now. I probably will never post this. Anyway, I just wanted to explain a bit, and now you know some things about me as well. I'm sorry, I get really stuffed up as soon as I start crying because I have permanent sinuses issue and allergic and everything. So anyway, I just felt like explaining all of that to you because you have followed me and Mirra in our lives, and I just wanted you to know. Okay, I will stop this now.